Sally, you're all right.
Well, of course I'm all right. But my purse, Mac.
I'll have Enright put the purse-snatching detail on it right away.
Is that all you do? Just put the purse-snatching detail on it?
Well, that's our normal procedure, but if you want special attention...
Oh, no. I just want to be as satisfied as any other woman that you have to handle.
I'll see that you're not neglected.
Okay. Thanks, Mac. Bye-bye. What I expected Mac to do, but he certainly did do it, didn't he?
Well, he is the police commissioner, you know.
I know, but I didn't expect it to get here before I did. Wasn't that sweet of him to surprise me like this?
You're surprised. The front doorbell rings, I answer the door, and there's nothing there, just this purse. Couldn't the policeman have waited until I'd gotten there? I mean, I would have given him a cup of coffee or something. Hey, you don't suppose the word is out on my coffee, do you?
Mildred, I don't think anything is missing.
Oh, what's that? Oh, it's a candy heart. You're always nibbling, aren't you?
I didn't put that there. Mac must have put it there.
I love you.
I love you too, Mac.
I didn't put this in your purse, Sally.
Who else would?
I didn't even know the purse-snatching detail had found it.
No, sir, we didn't find it. Frankly, we didn't even have a lead. But we did put out a description of the purse snatcher.
Okay, Enright, thanks.
Well, how did my purse get here?
Are you sure nothing's missing?
Just something added. I love you.
I love you, too.
Oh, thanks. Hi there. Mac, maybe when the purse snatcher saw my ID, he realized you'd be involved in the case, and so he brought my purse back. No. Maybe it was just somebody that was very honest but didn't want to get involved.
Why would anybody honest want to snatch your purse?
Very good point. Mac, do you know, the whole time that I was out today, I had the strangest feeling that someone was watching me. As if he was following me. It was very weird.
He?
I don't know why I said he. I looked back a couple of times and I never saw anybody that looked suspicious.
Was this before your purse was grabbed?
Mm-hmm. But the thief came from in front of me.
Then anybody watching you would have been behind you. Mm-hmm. You would have seen the whole thing.
He.
Yeah. Did I hear right? Hello.
We found a man who fits the description Mrs. McMillan gave us of the purse snatcher. Blonde hair, scar on his chin.
All right, put him in a lineup and Sally can... Oh, I see. Well, we have no other choice. All right.
That's him.
They found him in a vacant lot, sir. He'd been strangled. Commissioner, I ran an ID on the dead man. His name is Willie Blaine. 5 purse snatching raps, 4 convictions. Now, there's nothing unusual about him grabbing somebody's purse.
But whoever murdered him and returned the purse with a candy message of love is unusual.
A little unbalanced, wouldn't you say, sir?
But Dr. Voigt can help us find a behavior pattern.
What we're looking for is a troubled mind, and I think we have to consider the probability it's somebody Sally already knows. Perhaps encounters almost every time she goes out.
Then I probably know him, too. He didn't return the purse openly because he murdered the man who stole it.
Right. Otherwise, he'd have wanted the credit for finding it, the recognition.
Well, you know, Sally had the feeling she was being followed, so he must have been right behind when the purse was grabbed.
Yeah, saw the whole thing.
But why?
Oh, thanks for this. Well, possibly somebody with his own little fantasy about Sally. And probably all quite innocent until he saw the purse snatcher give her a shove. But then he acted enraged because he doesn't want anybody to hurt her.
So he killed the man he thought hurt her?
Which means the fantasy is becoming a reality. And I think the sooner you locate him, the better.
Mac, if the person that was following me was someone that I recognized, I would have recognized him.
Not if you didn't spot him, you wouldn't.
Do you really think that it's someone that I know?
We have to consider it.
Well, I felt so foolish yesterday. Being filmed with all those nice men.
They didn't know they were being photographed.
No, but I did. None of them has ever done anything out of the way. Not even so much as a glance.
Not to your face, no. That's why we have to see what they do behind your back.
That's Joe Marley.
I have been going to that station for years, and I never knew that Joe went every time that I left.
He obviously appreciates your business.
Mac. Sam the Lobster Man.
Yeah? Never could sell a lobster without first bidding it fond adieu.
That would appear to be a somewhat emotional response.
Maybe so, but he couldn't kill anyone.
Our favorite waiter.
Ingo only likes me because you overtip.
Casey, isn't he the man you forced to resign from the police department?
That's right.
I didn't know he was working as a bank guard these days.
He told me he also moonlights as a night watchman.
I thought he was going to try and be a private detective. Didn't he open up an office on Geary Street?
Yeah, it didn't work out.
Casey's just a good friend.
Yeah. I remember him once telling me that a man could look a lifetime to find a girl like you.
Dear old Henry. Do you know that I've known Henry since before I knew you?
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Any of those faces look familiar?
The faces, no. The looks, yes.
It could be any of them, sir.
Marion, what are the chances it could be a stranger?
Well, it's highly unlikely a stranger's going to murder someone for Sally's purse. I'm afraid it's probably someone we've seen.
Mac, it just can't be one of those men. It can't. Can it?
Did you see anyone else that day that you know, perhaps spoke with?
No. Mac?
We'll find out who it is.
You and Mac are two of my dearest friends, and nothing's going to happen to you if I can help it. And I know I can.
I've been told that Marion often works overtime for your office at the expense of some of her wealthier clients.
Well, we pay her by the hour, just like any other client. Pretty steep fee, too.
You know, I never realized that Marion considered us such close friends, especially since she's only been over to dinner just a few times. Oh, and then we did take her to the football game that one time. Of course, you've known her longer than I have.
I never took her out, Sally.
Oh, she's the one.
One what?
The one you never took out.
Okay, process of elimination. Are you ready?
Ready.
The lobster man.
Sam Hill.
Yeah.
Sam the lobster man. All right. On the day it happened, he was at his lobster bin on Fisherman's Wharf until after dark. So that eliminates him.
Joe Marley.
The fellow at the service station. It's very interesting. Right after Mrs. McMillan drove off, he told his boss that he had a toothache, and then he left. Now, I've checked with his dentist. He didn't go to him that day.
Any idea where he went?
Yep. Later on, he was seen at a bar known as Kim's Corner, where he ordered a double bourbon with a beer chaser.
You mean after the purse snatching?
Yes, sir. About an hour after.
Enough time to kill a man and deliver Sally's purse to our house. What about Casey?
The bank closed at 3. After that, Casey was footloose. We don't know where he went.
Henry.
Who?
The magazine man.
Oh, well, he was supposedly at his newsstand from morning till night. But periodically, he takes a break, closes up. Now, that break can last anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour.
Another possibility.
Now, our last suspect, Ingo, the waiter. Now, the only time he had off was the break between lunch and dinner. He lives alone at the Manchester, but he didn't go back there that day, which he usually does.
We're not getting anywhere, Sergeant. Have you noticed?
Yes. But it takes time,
Well,
sir.
we haven't got time. 4 out of 5 of these could be our man, and our man is apparently a maniac in love with my wife. Night, Sally.
Good night, Mac. Mac? Are you asleep yet?
Not quite.
You know that man who thinks he's in love with me? Do you think he's crazy?
Well, not because he's in love with you. I mean, if that were the test for insanity, I'd already be locked up.
You're pretty nice, you know that? Good night.
Commissioner? Commissioner? Commissioner, are you all right?
Of course I'm not all right. I just fell down the stairs.
Mrs. McMillan, there was somebody in this house.
Good thinking, Mildred. Did you get a look at him, Mac?
No.
Are you sure you're all right?
I never said I was all right. I said I fell down the stairs.
Oh. Well, in that case, are you all right?
Terrific.
Mac, look at this. Flowers in front of my picture.
You must be out of candy hearts.
You're going to get more than a 24-hour guard in your house. I want every available man in the department on this case.
You know, you seem more upset about this than Mac is.
The murder of a petty criminal is one thing. Breaking into the house of a police commissioner is another ball game. The next thing you know, it could be the mayor or an alderman.
Or the DA.
Right. Well, obviously, whoever it is, he's out after big fish, and I want him nailed.
You mix a nice metaphor, Chapman.
Do I have a trait you don't admire?
You know he's wrong about the motive for the break-in, don't you? Dead wrong.
Hello, hi.
Sally,
Mac.
why did you scream last night?
Who is this?
I wouldn't hurt you. Don't you know that?
Who are you?
I want to meet you, Sally.
All right, where would you like to meet?
You mustn't bring anyone with you. You must come alone.
Of course, just tell me where and I'll be there.
Soho Bar and Grill at noon.
Mac, you can't get him that way, and you know it.
And you're not going to meet him, and I told you that when you called.
Mac!
It's out of the question.
You want to find him, don't you?
And I plan to.
How?
By being at the Soho Bar and Grill.
Hello, Commissioner.
Commissioner. Mrs. McMillan, this is policewoman Ella McKay.
How do you do?
We had to borrow one of your dresses.
Well, did you have to borrow my favorite one?
Oh, I'll be as careful with it as I can, Mrs. McMillan.
No. Mac, it's just not going to work with anyone else but me.
Come here, Ella. Now, look. What do you think, Henry?
I'm afraid Mrs. McMillan is right, sir.
Why? They're almost the same height. They look alike. And it's dark in there. I think we have a chance. Will somebody say something?
Mac, I don't ask to get involved in your cases, but I'm involved in this one whether we like it or not.
All right, Sally. This is the way it has to be.
Orange juice.
Looking for somebody, little lady?
Yes, I am.
You just found him, sweetheart.
Well, actually, I'm supposed to be meeting someone here.
That's right, baby doll. Me. Jack Tibble, Wholesale Meats, Des Moines.
Meets with your approval.
Clever, huh? Clever, huh? Hey, if you think that's good, let me tell you a story. I tell you the story about Holt when he's going down the street and the little old lady was on the side. Hey, watch where you're going, will you?
Mister, we don't want no trouble
Hey,
in
you
here.
can't do this to me. I
Come
got
on,
friends
Al.
in Des Moines.
Come on.
I'm a United States citizen.
I saw how rude that man was to you. If they hadn't thrown him out, I would have done something myself. Care to join me at my table?
Oh,
It's very lonely out. Have you noticed? Even in the daylight. Join me, please.
all right.
Afternoon, Soho. Mrs. McMillan? I'll see if I can find a Mrs. McMillan. Hold on, sir. I believe it's him. Hello, sir. Are you there?
This is your
Yes.
friend. Perhaps
I
you'd
was
like to
told
join
Mrs.
us.
McMillan was in the ladies' lounge. She'll be... Oh, here she comes now, sir. She'll be right with you. One moment.
Why is he calling?
He's probably checking to make sure you're here. Enright's tracing the call.
Can't you hurry the trace?
Just one moment, sir. She's on her way.
Well, I have to talk to him, Mac. He's not going to stall forever.
No.
Mackie's not gonna wait there. I have to talk to him.
Okay.
I've got it. He's in a phone booth at the station where Joe Marley works.
Stall him as long as you can.
Yes, sir.
Johnson, take Mrs. McMillan home.
What was the name, sir?
He's still at lunch. Should have been back by now.
Where does he eat?
Could be anywhere.
Commissioner!
Hello?
I want to speak to Sally McMillan.
Suppose you speak to me. I'm her husband.
She's there with you, isn't she? I know she's there.
What is it you want?
She tried to trick me. She betrayed me, and I loved her.
Was it him?
Yeah. Asking for Sally.
Joe Marley would know this number.
Well, what's going on, Commissioner? Somebody try to hold us up?
Where have you been for the past hour, Joe?
Lunch. Why?
Where'd you eat?
In my car. Here, take a look. I still got a half a pastrami sandwich left. Anybody want it? As you can see, I'm not a litter bug, or I'd have thrown it away already. Oh, for crying out loud, Commissioner, at least tell me what you think I did. Commissioner, there's a call for you.
Mac, he called again, the same man. Just a minute ago. He says he's gonna kill me.
Hi.
Hi, how you feeling?
Fine. Are you okay? I've been worried about you.
I'm fine. I mean, how often does a girl get two guys to make a pass at her in one day? I loved it.
Uh-huh.
Really, I was very flattered. Besides, Mildred told me it's been years since she's had two guys make a pass at her in 5 minutes.
Oh, so?
Really, she asked me for the address of the Soho Bar and Grill so she could hang around there, I think.
You sure you're okay?
I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be? Policeman at the front door, all the locks are changed.
Then give me a kiss. That's the only way I'll know you're telling me the truth. You're trembling.
Why not? You're still the best kisser in town.
All right. Suppose we concentrate on the phone calls.
Well, he disguises his voice, I'm sure of that.
There was something familiar about it, though, wasn't there?
Do you realize what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. I know him, too. But who?
Someone we both know,
Who appears to be normal.
but who's really very weird. Who does it fit?
All of them.
Well, I'm just going to sit right down here and think about all of them, one by one.
Then you'll go out of your mind.
I think I already have.
You know we're not getting anywhere.
Well, if I weren't so afraid of having a bad dream, I'd say let's go to bed.
No, we're getting somewhere.
By trying to entice him into a trap, she rejected him. I'm not surprised he threatened to kill her.
I never should have allowed Sally to go there.
Don't blame yourself.
I knew better, too, Mary, and I'm worried. We're not moving fast enough.
Well, I've been going over these suspects in Sergeant Enright's report. Your waiter is a very interesting study. He's got a bright, cheerful exterior, but it conceals a deep inner brooding. Joe Marley's got the kind of ego that make him think he's a lady killer. On the outside, Henry is a male Pollyanna. To him, the world is a beautiful place, but is it? I went by the bank and spoke with his boss. He says Casey's doing just fine, seems to be adjusting to his new life. But you and I both know if he didn't suffer from hypertension and blackouts, he'd still be on the police payroll.
And we still don't know who it is. Is that what you're saying?
I'm afraid so. All you can do is just keep a closer watch on Sally as possible. He threatened to kill her, and you can be sure he's going to try to do it. Now, is there any other cheerful news you'd like to hear?
Somebody, sir. Could be him. No, sir. When he saw it was a police car, he turned on the panic button.
Suppose we turn on ours. McMillan. Police Unit Y33 in pursuit of green Ford sedan, license number Tom Nora 440. Headed for intersection of Sutter and Maybell. Let's keep looking.
Did you see the writing on the windshield?
What writing?
$695. Clean as a whistle.
This is McMillan again. Give me Sergeant Enright.
It was right here on the lot, sir.
Of course I didn't know it was missing. Do you know how many cars I got on this lot?
But it was missing. The engine's still hot. Do you leave ignition, keys, in all these cars?
Why not? We're open all night. Besides, where would I hang that many keys anyway? Get mixed up, I'd have a locksmith there
Anything,
you wouldn't
Jimmy?
believe.
No prints inside, sir. Just like it says on the windshield. Clean as a whistle.
You won't find any on the outside either. The lot boy just wiped it down.
Check it anyway.
Yes,
We
sir.
run a tight ship at O'Hara.
The man who stole it obviously wore gloves.
Because he knew it would be traced. You sure nobody saw him take it or bring it back?
You know how many cars I got on this lot?
No.
How many cars do you think he has, Commissioner?
Come on.
It couldn't be Casey Mack. He's such a sweet person.
That's what he says about you, you know.
Mac, really?
Sally, I have to explore every possible direction. We worked that stake out of the Soho very carefully. Only someone with experience would be able to figure it out, like a former cop.
You're zeroing in on Casey.
I'm zeroing in on everybody. We have to figure it out, no matter who it is.
I agree. But making a phone call to a booth at Joe Marley's station? How would Casey know about that?
Well, if he's following you around, he knows everything. And being the smart cop that he is.
He might have thrown in Joe as a red herring.
Those little chats you've been having with Casey in front of the bank, what were they about?
Oh, nothing really. Time of day.
Well, it doesn't take 11 minutes and 14 seconds to discuss the time of day.
You clocked us.
I did. What did you talk about, Sally?
I don't know. Casey used to like to talk about his wife. He still grieves for her. He goes to visit the cemetery all the time. Puts little flowers on her grave. He grows those flowers himself. He has a hothouse behind the place where he lives.
You just said it.
I did.
Mm-hmm. The violets.
Casey knew they were my favorite flowers.
No. I know they're your favorites. But when I went to the florist to buy you some, they were out.
So you brought me those roses. They were nice.
Violets are seasonal, unless you have some way of controlling it.
Hothouse. Oh,
I think I'll have a little chat with Casey.
why do we always have to get our best clues at bedtime?
He works here, sir, moonlighting as a night watchman. Then he works all day at the bank. I don't know how he does it. Can't be helping his hypertension any.
Casey? 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 down.
Freeze, Casey. Give me the gun.
Get the light switch, Enright.
Why, Commissioner, what are you two guys doing here?
Find out why you tried to kill us.
Me? Try to kill you?
That's right, where you worked, not 10 minutes ago.
Fellas, I've been here for an hour, maybe more.
Why weren't you at work?
Now, look, Commissioner, I work all day at the bank and all night at the garage. So what's a man gonna do? Sometimes I slip over here, tend my flowers, get a little sleep. Well, the guy who comes out in the morning punches out for me. Nobody's the wiser. That is, up until now, anyway.
I'll check with that guy today, Commissioner.
Good, do that. I want you to. He'll tell you.
What about now, Casey? Why the gun now?
Well, you see, I thought it was this vandal again. You know, some bummer's broken into here 3 different times. Hey, look. You see where the guy busted my lock. Well, tonight I figured I'd leave the lights out in the house, so he thought maybe I could trap this guy back here. You know, it's a funny thing. All this guy ever steals is my violets. Yeah, by the handful. Hey, take a look. Yeah, see what I mean?
I love you. Casey, I'm gonna have to take you in for questioning.
But why? What's that thing you just found?
This one says, "Oh, you kid."
Now, look, Commissioner. Now, why would you think I'd try to kill you over that garage when I wasn't even over there?
The questions I'm gonna ask you are about the murder of a purse snatcher named Willie Blaine.
Oh, this is a frame. Now, you know it's a frame. You've always been against me, Mac. Yeah, you could have kept me on the force, but you wouldn't. And you know your wife likes me, too. Maybe too much. And now you're out to fix my wagon for good, aren't you?
You're talking like a...
Yeah, it's been quite a vendetta you've been having all these years. Sure, now I know who broke in here, even scattered evidence around. Didn't even know anything about.
Really believe
Yes, I can believe it, and I do. Listen, Mac, nobody's gonna put no hustle over on me. Nobody! Not even you!
That's enough!
Take your hands off me, Henry!
I'll put out an APB on him.
Hey, gin.
Oh, wait a minute. That 5 doesn't fit there. You don't have gin.
This deal. Here, your deal this time.
Say, you sure you're on a little edgy tonight?
No, no. 1,000 times no.
Well, you know what Hemingway said about people who protest too much.
Hemingway? I know what Shakespeare said. What did Hemingway say?
Pretty much the same thing. You know how those fellas are. They all think alike. Anyway, I wouldn't want to take advantage of you. I mean, seeing that you owe me $3.12 for ready.
You're the one that said you...
No, not me. Nobody's threatened my life.
Wish Mac would get home.
Yeah, right. It's getting kind of late.
Well, if you'd like to go on to bed.
Oh, who's tired? I mean, we've only played 6, 7, 8, 14 games so far.
Why do you keep looking at the front door? You know the lock was changed.
Do I keep looking at the front door?
Yes, you do, and there is also a policeman guarding the door.
Yeah, well, I know there's a policeman guarding a door, and that's why I'm not nervous.
Oh. I think that's enough, Mildred.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, what's that?
I think it's the wind.
It hasn't been a windy night.
It's probably getting ready to rain.
Or somebody's getting ready to break in.
For heaven's sakes, would you get a grip on yourself, Mildred?
It's you I'm worried about. No, it's me I'm worried about.
Mildred, there is nobody trying to break in.
Well, somebody's making a lot of noise, not trying to break in.
It's the wind. Can't you see it?
Hey,
It's the
windy
wind.
nights.
Let's just go to bed, Mildred. We have no idea when Mac is going to be home.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna leave me here just like that, right? Listen, wouldn't you like to take another crack at getting your $3.12 back? I'd be an easy mark now, I promise.
Good night, Mildred. And thanks for staying up with me, so I wouldn't be nervous.
You're right.
Out there now. You go to the front door and you open it and let that policeman in, okay?
You can open that door for anybody.
I'm not gonna open it.
Well, neither am I.
We'll go together. Ah!
What's the matter with you two?
Mac, there is somebody out by my window. I just saw him.
Yes, sir. Someone was here, all right.
Get a print on it right away.
Yes, sir.
What I don't understand is how you could let Casey get away from you in the first place. A man you know tried to kill you.
In the first place, I didn't let him get away. He escaped. And in the second place, I don't know. It was Casey who tried to run us down in the garage.
Who else would it have been? Or is that particular garage a hangout for psychos?
I'm afraid I agree with him, Mac. Are you sure you don't blame yourself for forcing Casey's retirement?
No, a man with hypertension shouldn't be on the force. He could kill without meaning to.
He could also kill meaning to. And right now, he's out there prowling the streets with a hothouse full of evidence against him.
He's much too good a cop to sprinkle clues around like that.
He left those clues because he's off his rocker. Now ask Marion. Anybody in a state like that could leave dozens of clues without even giving it a second thought.
All right, I put out an APB on him. There can't be too many places a man like Casey could run.
Well, I hope for your wife's sake that's true. I'll see you.
And besides, I don't think Casey's the answer.
Why? What do you mean?
The footprint outside our window last night was a size 8. Casey's a size 10.
Who's an 8?
Okay, I didn't show up for work. What's it to
You
you?
didn't even call in.
No, I haven't even been out of bed yet.
Why? Where were you last night?
I was out.
The commissioner asked where you were last night, Joe.
I was bar hopping. I got a little loaded.
Where?
I started at Kim's Corner, and after that, I don't remember. The reason I didn't show up for work, I'm shaking so much, I can hardly stand.
Were you at my house last night?
Why would I go there?
That's what we're here to find out.
I told you, I don't remember where I was.
Well, think, Joe.
All right. But I got a headache yesterday afternoon. I felt lousy after that hullabaloo at the station. And after 4 or 5 drinks, I began to get sore about it. I mean, why me? Why do you pick on me? And then I got steamed.
And then what?
I don't know. I'm not sure about the rest.
Well, tell us anyway.
It's pink elephant time. And I get that way sometimes when I drink. Yeah, I thought I saw your wife walk into the place, and by the time I realized that it wasn't her, well, I made a fool of myself, and they kicked me out of the place.
Then what did you do?
I walked. I mean, that's all I remember, is I walked.
Why did you end up at my house?
I don't know where I ended up, except that I ended up here finally in my own bed. I mean, so what if I did go to your house? Is that a crime? What'd I do? Break a window or set fire to the house? What are you gonna charge me with? Drunk walking?
Book him.
Book me?
What's the charge, sir? Drunk walking.
Commissioner, Joe Marley insists he didn't know this was your front door key.
Means somebody slipped it in his pocket?
Mm-hmm.
You believe that?
No, sir, I don't. And the cast from the footprint fits his shoe exactly. I think he's our man, sir. I certainly hope so. I know what you and Mrs. McMillan have been going through.
Yes.
Your wife's on the line, sir.
Hiya.
Matt, Casey just called. He asked me not to tell you, but he's going to try and clear himself. He says he's going to look for the man that killed Willie Blaine.
I'm glad you didn't tell me.
The other reason that I called is that I'm beginning to feel like the prisoner of Zenda.
Just as long as you don't begin to look like him.
Thanks a lot. Got any time to help me break over the wall?
This way, please. What a pleasure to see you again so soon, madame. And you too, Commissioner.
Oh,
Excuse
thank
me.
you. Ingo.
Yes, sir.
Would you like a drink?
No.
I'll be back instantly.
I don't think I'll have a drink either.
Sure is great to be out of the house, even with the forces of law watching over us. Not bad looking for a policewoman.
Harriet? Not bad. Great legs. Oh, you were saying?
I was saying that it's a little suspicious that you brought me back here to lunch so you could get another look at Ingo, our waiter, the suspect. Whatever happened to Joe Marley, the suspect that you have in custody?
Same as with Casey, too easy. Plenty of incriminating evidence. All of it could have been planted on him.
But Joe was outside our house, wasn't he, Mac?
Drunk. Bugged because police were swarming all over his gas station that afternoon.
2 suspects, both with incriminating evidence.
But only one maniac.
Well, 1 and 1 just doesn't add up to 1, does it?
No, it doesn't. We're overlooking someone.
Ah, so intent upon one another. They're oblivious to all around them. What a lovely way to go through life. I can recommend 1, 3, and 4.
How's 2?
Superb.
I'll have a BL&T on rye.
And madame?
I'll have number 5, Ingo.
My favorite.
Marley was questioned by a team of detectives, but with his lawyer sitting right beside him, we finally had to let him go.
Who furnished the lawyer?
I don't know. He had his one call, and I suppose he called the man who owned the gas station. You know what I don't understand is he was boiling mad when he hung up, but that lawyer was there an hour later. I still consider Marley a suspect.
I still consider everyone a suspect, which is why I'm starting all over again. Right from the beginning. Why, Henry.
Oh, hello,
Hello, Commissioner.
I do believe you're a bookie.
Now, you can't prove that, Commissioner. You'll never be able to prove it.
Relax. That's not what we're here to talk to you about.
Henry, you know this man?
I'm not sure.
His name is Willie Blaine.
Well, I don't know. He may have bought a newspaper from me, but I meet so many people every day, it's hard to say, huh?
Henry, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, sure.
How long have you been acquainted with my wife?
Oh, for a long time. Why, she was just out of high school when she first came by. Sometimes with her father in those days. She's a wonderful woman, Commissioner. Always so pleasant, so friendly. I never have to tell her to have a happy day. She always does. Nobody can deny her that, and never will. And as for you being married to her, that must be the dream of a lifetime.
Oh, it is, yes. Thank you, Henry.
All right. Have a happy day.
What do you think, Commissioner?
What do you think, Mac?
I think it's very strange behavior.
I think it's very flattering. Very strange. I remember the days when it used to be nice to get whistled at. Of course, I always pretended to be very insulted, but still, it was very nice.
Hold it right there!
Sally, call an ambulance.
I've been so worried. How is he?
Holding his own.
Was he able to tell you who shot him?
No. Still unconscious.
Poor Casey. Why did he have to go and try and solve it himself?
I don't know. But apparently he did solve it. And if he can solve it, why can't I?
Well, my father would say, look into his past. Who does he know and see that you don't see?
Or who do I know and see that I don't really see? Who do you suppose?
What is it, Mac? You're onto something.
It's what Henry said. He said there's never a need to wish you a happy day because you always have one anyway, and nobody can deny you that and never will.
You're thinking that the day my purse was snatched, someone did try to deny me a happy day.
But never will again because he's dead now.
Oh, Mac, you cannot go by what Henry says. He's always talked very flowery.
No, there's more. What are those things he wears?
Finger gloves.
Yeah, finger gloves.
Well, everybody that deals in newspaper and magazines use those. I mean, it's very common, Mac.
And convenient. Especially if you decide to steal a car from a used car lot. No fingerprints.
Commissioner, this is a surprise.
Is it, Henry? I should think you'd be expecting me.
I don't know what you're talking about, but you should have called first. I'm so ashamed to have you see the place looking this way. I don't like living like this, you know? That's why I'm a bookie.
Saving up for a house like this? My wife once said in a magazine interview that she always wanted a house on a cliff overlooking the sea. You remembered that interview, didn't you? That's why this is hanging here.
You never got her a house like that.
You're the one that's been following her, aren't you?
Yeah, but listen, I won't follow her anymore now, Commissioner.
And you murdered Willie Blaine, didn't you?
He hurt her. He hurt her.
Why would you want to hurt her?
Because she lied to me. She betrayed me. I told her to go alone to the Soho, but you went with her. I saw you and the others.
So you went to the gas station and telephoned.
I was very mad at her.
You threatened to kill her.
But then I thought it over, and I decided that it wasn't her. It was you. You who overheard her make that date with me, and that you wanted to hurt her by not letting her see me.
So you tried to kill me in the garage.
Yes. I wanted to kill you then. But not now. Not anymore.
Why not?
She said it was wrong.
Who?
The lady. She said I should leave you alone. That it was Sally who rejected me. Sally loved me very much. And that all I had to do was to let her know how much I loved her. So when I saw that man grab her purse and he gave her a shove. I couldn't stand it. I got sore. So I figured I'd show her just how much I love her.
The lady who said it was wrong. She's your psychiatrist, isn't she?
Yes.
Hi, Marion. How are you?
Do you always answer the door yourself?
No, I sent Mildred to the movies. Come on in. I mean, how long can you listen to a lady tell you, don't be nervous just because someone's trying to kill you?
Well, I'm not so sure she should have left you alone.
Oh, she didn't want to. But I pointed out to her that even if there was any trouble, she'd be a very little help. She's kind of a small lady, you know. Would you like some coffee or tea or something?
I'd love some tea.
Okay, make yourself comfortable.
Her answering service usually has a number where she can be reached, but not this time.
Well, don't you think that's strange? I mean, for a doctor?
And she doesn't answer her doorbell.
You don't think there's anything wrong?
Well, I'd just like to make sure.
Well, normally I don't do this, of course. But since you are the commissioner and such a good friend of hers, she's always mentioning your name.
I think I can manage from here, thank you.
Oh, well, if you need me, I'll be just down the hall.
Marion?
I just heard the verdict. Congratulations, Mac.
Oh, Marion, I could never have done it without your help.
Anytime. You know that. Oh, Mac, wasn't that a great game?
Yes, I was just saying.
We must be good luck for the team. They win every time we're here. Happy New Year, Mac.
Oh, hello, Marion. I didn't know you were going to be here tonight. Happy New Year.
You and Sally? Why, Mac, that's wonderful. She's a lucky girl.
How do you take it?
Lemon and sugar, please.
Isn't that interesting? Same as Mac.
Yes. Yes, that is interesting.
when did Mac ask you to stop by? Do you know I had no idea how late it is? It's almost 8:30.
I saw him about 7.
7. And he was still at the office, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's my Mac. Maybe I better give him a call.
I took the other phone off the hook. It disconnects all of them. Sally? Not yet. Not unless you want me to kill the policeman first.
I'm sorry, Commissioner. That line has been temporarily disconnected.
I think you've worked out the perfect crime, don't you, Marion? Convince one of your patients to kill me, and then you have Mac all to yourself. But that's not going to work, Marion. You know that.
Of course. I realize he won't love me as much as he loves you. At least not in the beginning. But maybe as time passes.
Put the gun down, Marion.
No, it's too late. If only you hadn't gotten here so soon. You would have blamed Henry. I know you would have.
You're not going to solve anything by killing us.
Oh, I'm not, huh? Old pal? Old buddy? The best friend a girl ever had? That is, whenever you needed a little help on a court case? Oh, but when you didn't, it was just goodbye, Marion. You are staring at a case history of an unrequited love, Sally.
Love? You call it love when you have a gun pointing at him? Sounds more like hate to me.
Hate. Jealousy. Frustration. Loneliness. Rejection. That's the stock and trade of a psychiatrist. A garbage can where people dump their misery. Who should know better than I?
Marion, we've always tried.
Tried to what? Be kind to Orphan Annie. The lady with a brilliant future. Living in the vacuum of her own private hell. With no place to go but crazy.
You can still be helped.
Oh, yes, I can. I can, but you and Sally can't. And when that cop comes running in from outside, there won't be any more help for him either.
There's no cop out in front. I sent him around the back. He's coming up behind you right now. It's true. I went to your apartment. I saw your room. I knew Sally was in trouble when I came here.
I've seen you bluff in court, Mac. I'm sorry. You're just not that good.
Don't move, Dr. Voigt.
When Joe thought he saw me walk into the bar, he really did see a woman.
Marion. When he was thrown out, she followed him.
And she managed to slip our house key into his pocket? Boy, she sure went to a lot of trouble to point the finger at everybody else.
Yes. She even had Henry steal the violets from Casey's hothouse and place a little candy hearts there.
How's Casey doing?
Oh, he's going to be great. He said you could have acres of violets anytime your little candy heart desired.
What about Henry?
Oh, Henry will spend the rest of his life saying, "Have a happy day" at all the doctors at Napa. expect.
Unrequited love. That's so sad.
How about some requited love?
Requited? Is there such a word?
But it's much easier to demonstrate than it is to explain.
Oh, that's one of my favorite words. Beautiful.
Sally, would you mind stepping up here a moment? Could you help us with that? Thank you. Oh, come on now. You don't mind posing with me for a few pictures?
Well, it's not really very fair. I am the newest member of the board.
And the prettiest. Surely aesthetic reasoning should govern the world of art.
Like the way you talk.
Oh, Senor Feliciano, Commissioner Stuart McMillan. How do you do? How do you do?
Mrs. McMillan?
We're ready with the tape now. Oh, excuse me a moment.
Well, I hope it's correct this time. I was so embarrassed at that last exhibit. I want to thank you again for coming to my defense.
Anybody can make a mistake.
But a lecture on Cubism in a whole room full of British 19th century landscapes?
You're the gentleman who brought the painting from the Prado, aren't you?
A great cost to my nervous system, yes. Nor shall I rest easily until it is safely returned to El Prado.
Well, perhaps an explanation of our security system would benefit your nervous system.
It would indeed. You see, we have reports that an international syndicate will attempt to steal the painting.
All the doors and windows are attached to the burglar alarm system, as is this painting. And right, I'm going to trigger the alarm. You see? Okay, and I turn it off.
Well, you were the only one who thought anybody could make that kind of mistake.
Well, listen, the bad thing was that nobody on the tour noticed it. It wasn't reported for 2 months.
Oh, Well, try again.
Here, wait just 1 second. Oh, Mac, I'm going to take the tour now.
Okay, I'll call you later from the office.
Oh, I won't be home. I'm going to be working with the children all afternoon. Okay. See you at dinner.
Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you. See
Nice
you later.
meeting you. Bye, Sally.
It's all set.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck.
Now, where is it?
Starts right there.
Okay.
Welcome to the San Francisco Art Museum's 17th annual spring exhibit. If you will kindly move down the corridor.
Charlie? Senor Feliciano, this is Sergeant Enright.
How do you do?
He's in charge of our personnel assigned to the museum.
I suppose, Sergeant, you will also tell me that my worries are useless.
Yes, sir.
We begin our tour there. Gallery A features a collection of early Italian masters. You will notice the door on your left. This leads to Gallery B and a collection of Venetian paintings unrivaled in the United States.
And 2 men here and here, sir. And that should certainly do it.
Mm-hmm. What about the closed-circuit TV cameras?
They'll be monitored right here at headquarters, sir.
Mm-hmm. Any chance of someone stealing another masterpiece while we're so busy guarding the Rembrandt?
Negative, sir. We've got everything in this museum under surveillance. And so many men guarding it, I'm not sure there's going to be any room for the public. We could hold off an armed invasion, sir.
Okay. Let's get a copy of this over the Spanish consulate. See if it brings a real smile to Senor Feliciano's face. And while we're at it, I want you to go over the wiring details with me one more time. See if you can bring a smile to my face.
Think she's all right?
She groans like she is. Feel that, lady?
Mm-hmm.
That's a gun. We're gonna take your gag out now. You make a noise and the gun goes off. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You all right?
Gee, it's nice of you to ask. Of course I'm not all right.
You want some water?
Well, then for starters, thank you.
Here.
Thank you.
She's just real polite, isn't she?
Oh, you like that approach? Then maybe I should ask you, would you let me go, please?
Oh, that's cute. But no go.
Well, then could you take off this blindfold? It's too tight. It's stopping the circulation.
And you're supposed to be a police commissioner's wife? Do you know what'll have to happen to you if you get a look at us?
You know, this blindfold's not really that uncomfortable.
Put the gag back in her mouth while I call her husband.
Thank you.
Yes?
There's a call for you on one, sir. He refuses to identify himself, but insists on talking. Says it's about Mrs. McMillan.
Okay. Yes?
Hello, Commissioner. Do you have any idea where your wife is right now?
Yes, who is this?
Oh, so you know where she is, huh? You better check on that. And be home at 2 p.m. And we'll tell you where she is.
Who is this? June, call my wife at the Deaf Center for Children. Enright, you better get in here right away.
Yes, Commissioner. We found a tour guide tape in a wastebasket with Mrs. McMillan's fingerprints on it. And you know what was missing from the place? An oversized laundry bag.
Just one of your regular oversized laundry bags?
Just one of your regular oversized laundry bags, Mildred, except Sally is inside. Yes?
You located your wife yet, Commissioner?
What do you want?
Well, you don't know where she is, huh? Well, guess who does?
If she's there, I'd like to speak to her.
No. Oh, Commissioner, you're all rattled. I'm the one who's giving the orders.
I'd like to talk to my wife.
Easy. Easy, I'll let you talk to her. But I'm warning you, Commissioner. If you don't do like we want, it'll be the last time you talk to her.
Hi, darling.
Sally, you all right?
Fine. I haven't been so nervous since you proposed.
All for now, Commissioner.
All right, what do you want?
You'll be right there in 3 hours. We'll tell you then what your assignment is.
How much are they asking, sir?
They haven't said yet.
Well, that's rather strange, isn't it? Usually they tell you right off so you can start raising it.
Trying to psych me out. What would you say Mrs. McMillan is worth?
I'd say she's priceless, sir.
And what else have you seen today that's priceless?
The Rembrandt.
They must figure the commissioner of police could be the only one to get through maximum security at the museum.
And they figure right.
Well, then give them the Rembrandt. It's not like they're asking for the Mona Lisa.
I tried telling that to the Prado.
But, sir, if that's what they want, and you don't give it to them, they might kill her.
Oh, Commissioner.
It's easy, Mildred. We'll get her back. Don't worry.
A phone recorder at the commissioner's house, that's right. And stand by for a trace at 5 p.m.
Hey, why don't you guys have something to eat? You can't just drink coffee all the time.
That'd be great.
Thanks, Mildred.
Commissioner. Did Mrs. McMillan say anything that might help when she talked to you?
Yes, I'm sure she was trying to give me a clue. When I asked her if she was all right, she said yes. But that she hadn't been this nervous since the day I proposed. Now, why would she think of a thing like that at a time like this?
That's all?
That's it.
It's not much, is it?
No, it isn't, but I'm convinced she was trying to say something that would help me locate her.
Where did you propose to her?
In a delicatessen. We were having breakfast.
I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying all this. Do you realize this is the first time we've ever had a date for breakfast?
You know, my grandmother used to say that if you can propose at breakfast, you've picked the right girl.
My grandmother was right. That's a very good rule. I wish I could have known her.
Sally, do you know what I just did?
Pushed away your locks.
I proposed to you.
Propose what?
To marry me.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh, Mac. That's really nice. I'm so pleased.
Yes, so am I. Well, I guess we should begin making plans.
Plans for what? Can I have some more coffee, please?
For getting married, you remember?
Oh, Mac, you don't want to marry me.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. You just barely proposed. Besides, you could have any girl in San Francisco. You probably already have. When I think of all the girls, it would just be wild to have you propose.
Are you saying you're not one of them?
Of course I am. Mac, my grandmother always used to say, accept no proposals at breakfast. Or what do you do for the rest of the day?
She refused me.
Well, sir, I didn't think it was likely that she'd be stashed in the back room here. I mean, this looks like a perfectly ordinary deli.
You know, Enright, I've got to handle this right. I could lose her.
Well, come on, Commissioner. We've got work to do.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. Sergeant, you eat here too?
No, we're here on business, senor.
Oh, well, now that you've discovered one of my weaknesses, let me give you some advice. You try the pastrami. It's absolutely great. I happen to be a pastrami connoisseur, just as Mr. Pennington is an art connoisseur. And what's your specialty, Commissioner? Don't tell me. Law enforcement, I trust. It's been a pleasure. Good day.
You know, Commissioner, maybe Mrs. McMillan meant the area, not just the delicatessen itself. I mean, take a look at that warehouse across the street. That'd be an ideal place to hide somebody.
Sally's much too smart to give that vague a clue. But I'll try anything. Thank you, Sergeant. It's always good to have you along. Why don't you check down there, Charlie?
I was just trying to get out of the sun for a while. You own this place or something?
Police.
Hey, look, put that thing away, will you? I've never done anything wrong in my life. In fact, I've never done anything. I'm a bum. There's beauty in that, too, you know. Only right now, not too much. I haven't eaten in 2 days.
All right, Sergeant, book him.
Yes, sir.
And make sure they keep him at least 24 hours. Till he's had a couple of good meals.
Hey, thanks, mister. Commissioner, if anyone at that museum knows anything, they're not talking about it. We questioned all personnel, checked the guide tapes, and we searched that place from the basement to the attic. And all we came up with was the tape that sent Mrs. McMillan to the maintenance room.
Which means we're not getting anywhere.
Not yet, no, sir. Now, if you can keep them on that phone for 3 minutes, we've got them. Even 2 minutes. And we can pinpoint the area.
I thought Sergeant Wilson usually handles this equipment.
Oh, he does, but he's on another assignment.
Last minute?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, it's just that I felt so useless down at that office with all those men and all that equipment there. And none of us are any nearer to her than we were this morning.
That should be my speech, Sergeant. Or are you in love with her, too?
Well, you think I'd come over here and tell you about it if I were?
Yes, I think you would.
Those look fantastic. What are they?
Chocolate meringue. They're Mrs. McMillan's favorite. Save some for her in case she's hungry when she gets home.
I thought you always said they're a nuisance to make.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Well, excuse me. Do you mind?
I don't know. What are you doing?
Well, I've been promising Mrs. McMillan that I get these spots for weeks. First the rug, and the drapes.
Start the trace.
Yes?
First off, Commissioner, don't waste time with the trace. We're going to be off the phone in a minute and a half.
All right. I won't waste any time with a trace.
Go on. Hey, you probably figured out what we want by now, right?
Well, I have a pretty good idea. You want the Rembrandt.
Hey, I heard you were bright. It's nice to have it confirmed. Be on the corner of Bush and Polk at midnight with the painting. And no tail. And no bugging devices, Commissioner. Any slip up on your part, and you will never see Mrs. McMillan again.
Just a moment. How do I know you'll release her after I deliver the painting?
Well, Commissioner, we want the painting, not your wife.
And I also want to make sure she isn't taken out of San Francisco.
Nice try, but we're not about to tell you where she is.
Either I get her back as soon as you get the painting or the deal's off.
Okay. She's in San Francisco. But that's all we're going to tell you.
Prove it. Let me talk to her.
I told you once, this call's ending.
Then call back at 10 p.m. and have Channel 12's newscast playing in the background. The station signal only reaches San Francisco area. That way I'll know she's here and safe.
Now look, Commissioner.
You look! Either I talk to her or the deal's off.
Okay, 10 p.m. Channel 12 in the background. And no tricks. I'm warning you, Commissioner.
No tricks. And one more thing. Any luck?
Nothing. You're pushing them very hard, Commissioner.
What choice do I have?
Where are you going?
To get the painting.
Well, high time. I was all ready to go to the museum myself.
They won't get away with it.
We have to go on the assumption they will.
Isn't there something else they'll settle for? Feel free to offer any amount of money. I'll back you, Mac. You know that.
Well, thanks, Matthew, but it isn't money they want. They want the Rembrandt.
Well, if that's it, that's it. The first order of business is to get the permission of the Spanish consul. Thanks. It won't be easy. I can imagine Senor Feliciano's reaction when we tell him we want to borrow his masterpiece.
Absolutely not. Out of the question.
There's no choice. A life is at stake. My wife's.
That is highly regrettable, of course. And after you called, I was on the telephone with my embassy. It is simply not within my power to give you the painting.
Well, if I may ask, just what are the priorities of your government?
To protect the rights and property of the citizens. The Rembrandt is one of our proudest possessions. It is not mine to give or to loan. It belongs to all the people.
I don't see how you can equate property with a human life.
I sympathize completely with your concern over the safety of your wife, but I urge you to look at this matter from the larger view.
What larger view? My wife is about to be killed. There is no larger view for me.
Commissioner, try to consider the precedent this would set. If we agreed to surrender the Rembrandt as ransom, the demands that might follow could literally lay siege to the art world. All its treasures would be subject to this kind of plundering. We owe it not only to ourselves, but to the world to take this kind of stand.
Senor Feliciano, you're an eloquent spokesman for your government's position, but you're also a man. And a woman's life is in danger, a beautiful young woman. No painting's worth her life. No painting's worth any human life. I've been a connoisseur of art all my life. If anybody knows the value of a masterpiece, I do. But I also know there's no greater work of art than a beautiful woman.
I must agree, in spirit, of course. But I cannot relinquish the painting. I'm deeply sorry.
All right. I'll get Washington on the phone. I won't take no for an answer.
As you wish, Commissioner. But I can tell you, your plight is hopeless.
Yes, Harry, that's right. I am putting it on a personal basis.
Mac.
It's just not possible.
Then make it possible.
Mac, be reasonable.
Look, in the Army, I saved your life.
Now you save mine.
The timing's lousy, Mac. We're right in the middle of negotiations with Spain for a new...
I don't give a damn about your negotiations. I want my wife back.
All right, Mac. I'll make the call.
But I can't promise anything.
Thanks, Harry. And don't hesitate to beg.
Commissioner?
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to report that everything's been arranged for that 10 p.m. phone call.
Thank you.
Well, I guess there's nothing else that we can do until they call. Are you all right, sir?
Well, I don't know. I'm fine. I just keep going over what he said in my mind. It suddenly dawned on me that there was something else besides his words.
Oh? What was that, sir?
Well, a noise in the background. A pocket, a pocket, a pocket, a pocket, a pocket, a pocket.
Well, what kind of an animal would make that
No,
kind of
it
a
wasn't
noise?
an animal. It was a motor of some kind.
Oh,
A pocket, a pocket, a pocket, a pocket, a
pocket,
pocket,
a pocket, a pocket, a pocket, a pocket, a pocket,
Yeah.
a pocket, a pocket.
A washing machine.
Washing machine be whoosh, 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 whoosh. That doesn't exactly narrow the field.
No, it doesn't. There's got to be a clue in what Sally said.
Well, sir, we've tried the delicatessen and the warehouse across the street.
Yeah, but you see, after Sally hedged on my proposal at breakfast, I changed the setting. I tried again at lunch. This time, it was at the top of the mark.
Of course I love it. I adore caviar. Not to mention the ambiance. You really know how to handle a girl, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've had so much experience. I've had none. Are you sure you're not trying to take advantage of my inexperience?
Of course I am. That's why I'm asking you to marry me.
Well, it sounds a lot better here than it did at the delicatessen.
Well, is that a yes or a no?
I loved breakfast. I'm adoring lunch.
Oh.
What are you doing for dinner?
Sorry, but I have to work.
You do?
Yeah, I have a brief due in the morning. I'll be in my office most of the evening.
The Carson case?
Your hunch was right. It isn't embezzler, except it isn't Carson.
Do you mean to say, Mac, that I was really able to help you on one of your cases?
Well, more than I plan to admit in public.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer your question?
Which question?
Why I want to marry you?
For my brains? Oh, Mac.
Sally, I love you. Look, I love you.
I wish I could believe that. I do want to, you know.
We want to search every room in the hotel.
Every room?
And every closet. In every room.
I'll get the manager to accompany you.
Commissioner, if we don't find Mrs. McMillan here...
If we don't find her here, we'll check every hotel in San Francisco. It's the only clue we have. A hotel.
Yes, sir.
You think we're wasting our time, don't you?
Yes, sir.
That concludes this evening's Film Classic. Stay tuned for the news, which follows immediately.
Good evening, folks. Got some real thoroughbreds out here in the corral for you tonight. You come on over. You're going to go home with a couple of 100 horses, I guarantee it. We'll make you a deal so good, you want to lasso it yourself. If you don't, my brother, I'll tie the knot myself and hang it from the highest tree in Northern California. Come on over this way, folks. This here is my sales manager. Now, if you can't outsmart this old boy and get the best deal in town, why, you ain't even trying.
Now, just say hello. You got that?
How can I just say hello? What if he asks me questions?
Don't answer them. I just told you that, lady.
Well, what if he asked me what I had for dinner? He's sure to ask me that.
Hey, lady, you want to live after that phone call?
Why can't I just say hello?
Hurry up and dial. The news is coming on.
Oh, a little more to the right now. Yeah, I'm fine. Hold it. Get that line over here. Just a minute.
Your Home phone's ringing now, sir. They're switching it over here.
It's there on line 1, Commissioner.
Yes?
Commissioner, we got your wife here. And the TV's on channel 12.
Now remember, just hello.
Hello.
Sally, are you all right?
Hello.
What?
Good evening, and welcome to Channel 12 6 p.m. News.
6 p.m. news? You recorded the 6 p.m. news to play behind her voice.
What kind of a trick is that?
That's not a trick. The station made a mistake. Ask your wife.
She's probably not even alive. You have her on tape saying yes or no to any question I ask. The deal's off. What's that?
Yes. Good evening, Channel 12.
Hey, don't you guys even know what time it is? If it's 6 p.m., I've been drinking since 2 p.m. Say, not a bad idea.
Thank you very much for calling. It was our error. Sorry. Good evening, Channel 12.
I hope your news is more accurate than your clocks.
Our error. Sorry. Good evening, Channel 12.
What's the idea of calling the 10 o'clock news the 6 o'clock news?
Oh, I'm very sorry, but all the lines to the newsroom are busy right now. I have to put you on hold.
They've started the trace now, sir.
Okay, let's go.
Fine.
We have a line free to the newsroom now. I can connect you. Thank you for waiting.
It's about time.
Ronald Harris, sir. Good evening. May I help you?
How can you make such a dumb mistake calling the 10 o'clock news the 6 o'clock?
We did that?
You sure did. You called it the 6 o'clock news just now.
I didn't realize that. I'm
Very sorry, sir.
just a moment. Miss Wilson,
Find out if the 10 p.m. news was called the
6 p.m. news.
Will you? Please.
We're checking on it right now, sir. It's a most embarrassing situation. Are you sure you heard correctly? Yes, we did. I agree completely.
And thank you so much for bringing it to our attention.
I hope you'll continue
To watch our newscasts and report on our accuracy. Tell me.
Are you a regular viewer?
Forget it.
Well, at least we found the area, sir.
Yeah.
North Central area, sir.
Just great. Only 10 square miles.
Well, we have squads out right now covering it all.
What time is it?
Nearly 11.
I have to deliver that painting by midnight.
Any word from Washington?
Nothing.
Are you ready to listen to the tape now, sir?
What about the voice graph?
It doesn't check with anything we have on record.
How can you make such a dumb mistake
Listen.
calling the 10 o'clock news the
You hear
6
that?
o'clock?
What? In the background?
Sure did. You called it the 6 o'clock news just now. I hadn't realized.
Pocket up, pocket up, pocket up, pocket up, pocket up, pocket up. Yeah, what does that sound like to you?
Pocket up, pocket up.
Yeah. Me too. I keep coming back to what Sally said. The more I think about it, the more convinced I am. Wait a minute. The day I proposed, there's someone else who knows about that.
Of course, she tells me everything. And I mean everything, Commissioner.
Did she mention the fact she kept refusing me?
Mm-hmm.
Did she say why?
Mm.
Well, why?
Well, Commissioner, I kind of hate to tell you that.
Mildred, something about the proposal or the day of the proposal might save Sally's life. Now, please, tell me everything.
Okay, you asked for it. She kept turning you down because she loved you so much.
Because she loved me so much?
And she wanted to make sure that you loved her as much.
Well, that doesn't sound so bad, sir.
Oh, I haven't gotten to the bad part yet, Sergeant. You see, the Commissioner used to play around a lot. You want it all, Commissioner?
Yeah.
Good. The Commissioner was the biggest makeout man in the entire San Francisco area. Some people said the entire West Coast. I never said so, but some people did. No offense, Commissioner.
No offense.
Well, he used to take out a different girl every evening, and sometimes in the afternoons, too. We used to read about him in all the society columns and in some other columns, and I used to say to Mrs. McMillan, of course, her name wasn't Mrs. McMillan in those days. Her name was...
Mildred.
Oh, yeah. Well, I would say to Mrs. McMillan, listen, if worse comes to worse, you can always get a great divorce. I mean, I felt the settlement alone was worth...
The proposal, Mildred. What did she say about the proposal?
Well, she said that it took all day, and that she had to pop the question. Really, Commissioner?
Is that the way you remember it, sir?
Well, yeah, I had to work late in the office. It must have been after 11 when I left. She was waiting for me in the parking lot.
Good evening.
Well, this is what I call a real class surprise.
How can you be sure? You haven't even seen what's in my hamper yet.
Hamper? I thought that was your purse.
You didn't eat dinner, did you?
No, not even a lousy sandwich.
Oh, well, that's what I brought you. A lousy sandwich.
I'd love a sandwich. I'm starved.
Good. My cooking works best on people who are starving.
You call this cooking? I call it a tuna fish sandwich.
Well, I call it cooking. Anything I do in the kitchen, I call cooking.
Then you're a great cook, because it's a great sandwich.
Do you really mean that?
Sure, I mean it.
Will you marry me?
Sally, are you sure I'm the one?
Well, I wouldn't want you to end up with a wife who couldn't cook. I love you, Mac.
Then what happened?
Really, Sergeant?
We just drove around, talked, made plans.
Well, sir, where did you drive?
I don't know. I just drove around. I wasn't paying any attention. Oh, there's nothing here, Sergeant. I remember. We started out this way.
Where were you going?
I don't know, just driving around.
Where to from here, Commissioner?
All over, like I just told you.
Well, sir, I don't understand what the clue was. How will we find her if you drove everywhere?
I don't know. Maybe what she said wasn't a clue. Maybe I just wanted it to be. Maybe she was just nervous. No, she wasn't nervous the day I proposed. I was. I just can't remember.
Commissioner, I have never seen you like this. You've never given up before. Hey, it's almost 12 o'clock. We better get back.
McMillan.
Washington calling, Commissioner.
What have you got, Harry?
Officially, Mac, we had nothing to do with this.
And if you lose that painting, we'll issue a statement denouncing you. Also, don't ask me what I had to promise in return, or what we're giving away for this.
But you've got a green light.
Harry, you're sensational.
In fact, this phone call never took place.
But, Mac,
Yes.
Good luck.
Thanks, Harry. possible.
I've been here a long time. I was even on duty the night they got the Goya. Just to stand here and watch. It was worse on my ulcer than a shootout.
Thank you.
Good night, Commissioner.
Night.
And good luck, sir.
Thanks. Yes?
Right on time, Commissioner. Now go to 8th and Howard for further instructions.
Eighth and Howard. I'll take Market Street.
8th and Howard. Got it, Commissioner.
Morning Chronicle, sir?
No thanks, son.
Might as well take it. It's free. The fella in the corner already paid for it. Said to be sure you got it.
Thank you. Sending me back to Bush and Polk.
We're with you, Commissioner.
All right, let's cut this out and get on with it.
Oh, but you're doing so well, Commissioner. Now bring it across the street. That's right. The building directly in front of you.
I'm going into a building across the street. A tall one. Apparently, that's where they'll make the drop.
We're right behind you, Commissioner. And, sir, be careful.
Inside the elevator.
He's in the building.
Why the roof?
No questions, Commissioner. Just keep your mouth shut, you understand?
He's in the building, going up to the roof now.
Right there. They should hold your friends for a while. Let them walk up. Move.
Look, they jammed the elevator. Martin, you stay here. We're going to have to climb the stairs.
But, Sergeant, we're going to lose the painting.
There's no way out of here but the elevator and the stairs. We've got them trapped.
All right, now hold it. Take out the painting. Yeah, that's a real one, all right. And no bugs. All right, put it back.
All right. What about my wife?
Oh, you'll get her back. Just don't try anything cute, Commissioner. It'd be dumb if anybody got killed over a painting now, wouldn't it?
All right, now what?
She coming in on that? Don't ask me, Commissioner. I'm a messenger boy, just like you.
He's gone!
I'll get a police helicopter.
You'll never find him in the dark! Commissioner, you'd promise you'd keep it safe.
If I could get my wife back, I'd give them the Prado.
For crimes committed against the Spanish government, we find you guilty.
up your movie to bring you the latest on the fast-breaking story of the loss of a world-famous Rembrandt painting delivered as ransom to the kidnappers of Mrs. Stewart McMillan, wife of the police commissioner. The loss of the Rembrandt has shaken the art world. Police had planned to recover the painting once Mrs. McMillan was safely returned, but the plan was thwarted by the daring helicopter escape of the kidnappers with the masterpiece. As yet, Mrs. McMillan has not been released. The failure of the kidnappers to release their victim has heightened the controversy.
Nothing.
Reaction to the loss of the painting is already beginning to come in from around the globe. Via satellite, James Harrison talked to an official at the Louvre in Paris.
Do you feel, sir, that the ransom of the Rembrandt will affect the Louvre's policy of loaning its art treasures to other museums?
We are calling a board meeting for the end of the week to review our loan policy.
Would the Louvre ever give in to a kidnapper's demand to relinquish one of its masterpieces?
Unthinkable. Under no circumstances.
To your knowledge, has this ever happened before?
To the best of my knowledge, nothing like this has ever occurred for the past 50 years.
I see. Do you feel that this will precipitate a rash of similar actions?
It is very difficult to answer this sort of question because we never know when someone is going to come to the museum to do something of this sort.
I see. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, I'm sure.
The Spanish government has sent an angry communique to Washington, but the State Department has yet to make a comment. Sir William Chamberlain, the noted British art critic, fears that the incident might set a precedent. We have his comments now via satellite from London.
The danger, especially in America, is that these things tend to become trends overnight. And have you ever noticed how they always seem to originate in America? Now, why is that?
We take you now to Chester Davis in our remote unit for an on-the-spot view.
We're talking with Mr. Al Liston at Johnny's Coffee Shop on 8th Street. Mr. Liston, are you aware of the ransom demand being made for Commissioner Stewart McMillan's wife?
Oh, sure. Sure, you told me all about it before you turned on all those lights. Don't you remember?
Do you think the commissioner was right to risk a masterpiece? Does love conquer all?
Oh, buddy. Are you asking the wrong fella? I mean, have you ever met my wife? Why do you think I'm hanging around a coffee shop all night?
And that wraps it up from our remote unit. This is Chester Davis returning you now to our studio.
Thank you, Chester Davis. Our in-studio guest is the chairman of the museum board, Matthew Pennington. Mr. Pennington, welcome. What do you think of the commissioner's actions?
He had absolutely no choice.
But as one of this country's largest art collectors, are you concerned that all of this is going to lead to a series of kidnappings in exchange for art objects?
As an art collector, I surely know the value of a masterpiece. But I've never seen a painting or any other material object that was worth a human life.
Then you approve of the police commissioner's action?
I not only approve, I feel it reflects great personal courage.
Thank you, Mr. Pennington. Other local and international figures, while sympathizing with the police commissioner's personal plight, tend to hold him responsible for losing one of the world's great masterpieces.
Why punish yourself any more, Commissioner?
Mr. Pennington was right. You showed great personal courage.
We're going to get her back, sir. Look, these are very special kidnappers. Most likely a highly organized international syndicate. They didn't want money, they wanted a painting. And I think they'll keep their word.
Charlie, you and I have been around kidnappings too long to kid ourselves. Mildred, do you still have those scrapbooks of yours?
The ones you hate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go get them. I was just looking at them this morning.
Going to the warehouse. It's time to collect. But keep an eye on her. It's almost over.
I just checked on her. She's sleeping like a pussycat.
Pussycats don't sleep. They nap. Right on time. Good.
Everything Mr. Edgar does is on schedule. Satisfied?
That's unmarked. I'm satisfied.
So is Mr. Edgar. He wants you to release Mrs. McMillan before noon.
Right.
Mr. Mr. Edgar wanted me to tell you what a pleasure it was doing business with you.
That was my pleasure.
He said he may have more business for you soon.
Oh, good. How do we get in touch with you?
We'll get in touch with you.
Ooh, that is a honey of a shot. Where was that taken?
I can't remember. I keep going back to what Sally said. I haven't been this nervous since you proposed. Now, there's got to be a clue in there somewhere. What does that mean, Sergeant? Mildred?
Mm-hmm. Well, sir, maybe it, I don't know.
Listen, how about a little something to eat, gentlemen? I mean, personally, I can't think without a plate of food in front of me. It's breakfast time anyway.
What did you say?
Breakfast. You remember, eggs, toast, bacon.
No. The part about a plate of food in front of you. Sally always says that, doesn't she?
Hmm?
Now, wait a minute. Lox and bagels for breakfast. Lox, bagels, delicatessen. No. Champagne, caviar for lunch. Tuna fish sandwiches for dinner. Lox, caviar, tuna fish. It's fish! She smells fish!
Squads to every pier in the area, sir.
Better make it the whole coastline then, right? Muir to Ray's Point. They could have placed a call anywhere.
Yes, sir. Where will you be?
I'm playing a hunch. I'm on my way to the marina. Sally and I used to eat there.
Please, could you take me to the police station?
Yeah, get in, lady.
There's probably 2 men following me.
Give me the marina port, Captain.
Port Captain's office. Speaking. Yes, sir. New boats? Just a minute, I'll look and see.
I'm interested in any new boats that came in this week, especially if you don't know the owners.
I have 3 that'll fit the bill. Slip 18, 24, and 27. Yes, sir, I'll see you there right away.
How'd she get away?
Because I left him with you, you idiot. Now this time, tie her up good.
I didn't even see her leave.
Well, you can bet she got a good look at us, sweetheart.
That means they'll be able to trace us.
Not dead, she won't.
Wait a minute. He said not to harm her.
We got no choice now, have we?
Oh. Dumb broad.
Hello, Commissioner.
Hi.
Grab that fire line, will you? Yep.
How are you?
Good to see you. Seems quiet enough around here.
Yeah, well, let's check and make sure.
Charlie, you said nobody ever came here.
No, Myrtle, there's no need to be inhospitable. Hello, I'm Charles Nelson. Welcome aboard.
That's gotten where it's bigger than fishing in the marinas these days. He can't pull out of here at that speed.
What slip was he using?
Number 27. That may be your man up ahead. Harbor Masters is the port captain. Alert the Coast Guard. We're pursuing a cabin cruiser heading out to open sea. We'll need a helicopter and some boats. Over.
Looks like the harbor police are on our tail. Let's just dump her right now. So I finally realized it was fish.
Why took you so long? Chocolate meringues. Boy, do I love them. It was really nice of you to make them, Mildred. I know what a nuisance they are.
That's right. Oh, a little hard. They're yesterday's. I should have mentioned it.
They're still delicious. Even day-old chocolate meringues taste good to somebody who loves them as much as I do.
Well, I'm going to leave you two alone now.
Mildred, before you leave, I was wondering about the drapes. Now, I love the half you cleaned, but the other half is looking a little strange.
Yeah, well, I'll get around to them.
And while we're on the subject, Mildred, the kitchen cabinets look a little silly. Half varnished.
Okay. Okay.
I thought she'd turned a corner while you were away, but I'm afraid she snuck back around it.
I love her just the way she is. I love you, too. It's good to be home. Mac. Mac, why would anybody want to steal a masterpiece? What could he do with it? He couldn't show it to anybody.
Well, there's always the possibility he could just sit and look at it, all by himself.
You mean an art lover could have pulled the whole thing off?
Well, a very selfish one. Either the kidnappers had a buyer for the painting, or a private collector had it planned right from the beginning.
Where would he be able to enjoy it? He couldn't even hang it in his own house.
Well, he'd need a private place. Very private. A place he'd have to have built since it was announced that the Rembrandt was going to be shown here.
Poor Senor Feliciano. The whole thing was his responsibility. He really loved that painting. What have you got?
You sure this couldn't wait until we opened, Commissioner?
I asked the same question, Mr. Farrar.
You got the information I asked for?
Yes, sir. Every blueprint, permit, building contract in the file. Right where the marker is.
There you are, Sergeant.
A wine cellar?
You got me out of bed to look up a wine cellar?
I'm afraid no one is up yet.
Then wake him up. Tell him it's urgent.
I'm sorry, sir, but my master gave strict orders not to be disturbed.
All right, I'll wait. In the wine cellar.
We have no wine cellar.
Well, you may call it by another name. In fact, I'm sure you do. But Atlas Construction, who built it, lists it as a wine cellar.
No one's allowed down there.
You know, your master expects too much of his servants. Don't you guys have a union?
Hello, Mac.
Matthew?
How did you figure it out?
I knew the thief had to be an art lover.
Could have been anyone, anywhere.
And he also had to know I'd do anything to get Sally back. That meant it had to be a friend.
Breathtaking, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I haven't slept all night. Who could? You know, it's sad. Unfair, really. You can have all the money in the world, but there's still some things you just can't buy. The masterpieces that museums so love to hoard.
Yes. Outrageous, isn't it? In a museum, anybody can enjoy a masterpiece. Not have to pay for the privilege.
But I was willing to pay.
You will.
Breathtaking, isn't it? Still, I can't help feeling sad. Matthew worked so hard to make it all possible. I wish he could see all these people enjoying it.
Doubt if he'd get much of a kick out of it.
I suppose you're right. It's It's incredible that a man can come to the point where things don't interest him unless he can possess them.
Oh, I don't know. I'm a little like that myself.
Still, I can't help wondering what it would be like to own a masterpiece. To have it in your own home all the time.
Why not ask the man who owns one?
I don't think kisses are allowed in here.
Oh, sure. Kisses are. I think we better leave.